Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Canfield and today I'll be discussing Chapter 11, Communities, Cultures Within Cultures, from Fred Janet, An Introduction to Intercultural Communication. This chapter focuses on the idea that within every large culture there are smaller communities called co-cultures that have their own traditions, values, and communication styles. Understanding these communities help us become more aware of how identity and culture shape communication. The purpose of this chapter is to show that national cultures are not single, undefined entries. Instead, they're made up of many similar cultural groups that live within them, each with their own language, traditions, and ways of communicating. This chapter helps us see the communication both maintains and challenges cultural boundaries. By studying this, we can understand diversity and identity within societies like the U.S. Janet explains several important concepts. Co-culture means a smaller cultural group existing within a dominant culture. The dominant culture usually has more social, economic, or political power. Members of co-culture may choose different strategies like assimilation to blend in, accommodation to find balance, or separation to maintain distance. Marginalization happens when people are pushed to the edge of society, often losing their voice of representation. Janet gives examples such as Native American communities, Amish people, African Americans, Latinos, and people with disabilities. Each of these groups build a sense of community and identity that differs from the mainstream while still interacting with the dominant culture. These examples show how every society is really made up of many layers of culture, and each community, each Native Americans, Amish, Latinos, everyone has their own type of culture and traditions. Communication between dominant and marginalized groups can be difficult because of power differences. Dominant cultures often decide what's considered normal, which can make others feel excluded or misrepresented. Misunderstanding and stereotypes can arise when communication styles don't match or when cultural expectations clash. This chapter connects directly to our everyday lives. Think about workplace, schools, or communities where people come from different backgrounds. Understanding co-cultures helps us practice empathy, respect, and inclusion. For example, being aware of different communication styles, direct versus indirect, can help prevent misunderstanding and make environments more welcoming. We can also apply this chapter to current events. For instance, the movement to change Native American mascots and sports teams is how marginalized communities are represented. Another example is the use of multiple languages in immigrant neighborhoods and how cities adapt to that. These real-world examples show that communication reflects power and inclusion. The research question I picked was, how do co-cultural communication strategies influence the inclusion and representation of marginalized communities in American media and workplaces? This question could be explored through interviews or media analysis. We could look at how people from minority backgrounds adjust their communication in professional or media settings, whether they assimilate, accommodate, or resist dominant norms. By using Janet's ideas, We can study how identity and power shape communication choices and how inclusion either succeeds or fails. Again, as I talked on the last slide, we could use interviews, media, analysis to explore identity management, apply concepts like accommodation, or analyze communication in workplace and media. Every workplace is different and it doesn't all have the same cultural background or all the same type of people. Here are a few discussion questions to think about. How do co-cultures preserve identity while interacting with dominant cultures? What role does communication play in marginalization? How can workplaces apply co-cultural theory for inclusion? How does media shape understanding of subcultures? To conclude this presentation, Chapter 11 reminds us that cultures within cultures make societies more diverse and dynamic. Communication is the key to how we build identity, express belonging, and include others. By developing intercultural competence, we can communicate more ethically and respectfully in today's global world. Thank you.